Hi everyone. If you're unhappy with how your dog is behaving, do you call them a bad dog? What do we actually mean by that? And what, for that matter, is a good dog? Let's find out. People frequently contact a behaviourist or a trainer because their dog is doing something they're not happy with. Perhaps the dog pulls when they're on the lead. Maybe they bark when they're left home alone and it's disturbing the neighbours. Perhaps they're eating poop on walks or chasing the squirrels in the garden. The dog could have a variety of reasons for any behaviour that they perform. Behaviour typically has a purpose. So let's think about pulling on the lead. Perhaps they just naturally walk faster than you walk. Maybe they're keen to get somewhere more quickly. They might want to go faster because they're anticipating getting to the park. They could be frustrated because they want to reach a sniff and they're pulling towards that sniff. Or maybe they're in a part of the walk where they don't feel very safe and they want to walk faster to get through that area more quickly. So there could be a variety of reasons for the dog pulling. One thing that we do know is it's not to spite you or to annoy you or to hurt your shoulder, but the dog will have its own reasons for doing that behaviour that makes sense to the dog. Typically, what we might consider to be a bad dog or a problem behaviour in the dog is often a natural doggy type of thing to do that for some reason is not acceptable to us at that time. And we might think a good dog is a dog that is doing what we want. It's meeting our expectations of how a dog should behave in that situation. Sometimes this can be quite complicated for a dog. So what about the dog that we say we don't want the dog to bark? We don't want him to bark at home, in the garden, when we're in or when we're out. But we'd be very happy for him to bark if someone's breaking in. What about being playful? Perhaps we want to play with the dog at certain times of day, but think about the situation when you've just come in from work and you want to sit down, maybe have a cup of tea, put your feet up, and the dog's been snoozing for the last few hours and would really like to go for a nice walk or have some playtime. It's a mismatch between what they would like to do and what you would like to do. We also need to think about how they understand and obey the commands we teach them. Maybe we say they're a bad dog if they don't understand the commands or they don't seem to be listening. But maybe we could question why they're not able to listen to that cue at that time. So this is our definition, good dog or bad dog. It's our definition. And what about a doggy definition? Dogs are a completely different species to us. They have different senses, different strengths in different types of senses. They have a different functioning to their brain. They have different preferences. And they have a different way of interacting with the world. So it's not surprising that dogs see sense in things that we find unacceptable at times. When you look at it like that, then an awful lot of the adaptation is on the side of the dog. And do we need to perhaps meet them in the middle sometimes? Think about your social expectations of your dog. Perhaps you'd like to go and sit in a cafe with the dog and have a lovely drink, but maybe your dog feels uncomfortable in that space. Perhaps too many people, perhaps other dogs, perhaps too noisy, for example. Think about your dog's level of self-control. Is their emotional state such that they can have that self-control, or are they feeling overwhelmed? Think about the breed traits of your dog, the things that over a couple of 100 years that dog has been bred to do. And then within that breed, think about your dog's individual breeding and their upbringing and the influence that that has on their behaviour. These can all influence what your dog does in any situation, and sometimes lead them to do things that we might consider unacceptable. So their behaviour can come from fundamental instincts or drives, or it can be learned. We can ask ourselves, what and where are they learning? And are they learning what we'd like them to learn? Are our expectations realistic for that dog? Look at Gandalf. He is way better than he was when he first arrived, but it would be still very unrealistic to expect him to come and have a coffee with me in a cafe. Have we put the time and effort into that individual dog, the effort that they need to help them to behave as we would like? And have we been consistent with the message that we've given them? Ultimately, have we set them up to succeed? Or are we contributing towards them struggling? So I'd ask, is there such a thing as a bad dog? Or is it just a dog that has not learned how to meet our expectations? You tell me in the comments. That's all for today. Bye for now. Look out for new videos every Monday, and why not subscribe so you don't miss out?